Andromedans. In our intergalactic conversations, we discussed about the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Anunnaki, and the Sirians, as well as the Greys, Reptilians, Draconians, Orions. And now we are going to dive into the Andromedans. The Andromedans are light beings. They are also known as the Ascended Masters. When they appear to me, I see light, pure light. So they are not physical, but they can be physical, or they can materialize their energy in a way that to us is physical. But they are mostly light beings. They vibrate at the 14th dimension all the way to the 20th dimension. They are 14th to 22 dimension. And they're very much connected to the Holy Spirit. And they work with bringing universal peace and prosperity. So their agenda is very simple, it seems very basic, but they come forward to me with unconditional love and with peace. They have experienced the fullness of the universe. They have a very deep resume, cosmic resume, and they have compassion for human beings and for the other intergalactic beings, because they have chose to reincarnate, to incarnate in these different planetary systems, to become a true master of the universe. In order to become a true master of the universe, we need to be educated and we need to have much experience. So the Andromedans are seen as the masters of the universe. They are the high council. And they work with all different planetary systems, from Draconians to Pleiadians to Sirians to human beings. And their teachings has a lot to do with the Merkaba and with prayer. So they have great knowledge on the Merkaba and how the Merkaba is connected to our prayer. And we as human beings have the opportunity to experience the power of our word. And our power of our word can be so creative, but it can also be very destructive. So the Andromedans are very angelic. They very much come across to us as earth angels, but to other planetary systems such as Sirians, they can come off as different. But they are very much, their light energy, it comes across like a pure angel. So when we connect with them, it's very much like we're connecting with ascended beings, ascended masters, angels. And on this earth, if they do decide to incarnate, which they don't incarnate or reincarnate anymore, they've evolved beyond that, they would be considered earth angels. Earth angels, light workers, are very much they work a lot with the earth angel and the light worker. They work a lot with beings who come to planetary systems to raise the vibration of the planet, but also to help awaken the light energy. And the light energy to them is about peace, it's about harmony, it's about radiance, and it's about innocence, being true to your soul. Okay, so there's a sort of purity that they have. They seem very childlike. Their energy is so innocent, so friendly, and we can see that as naive because we're on this world and we know that innocence. People take advantage and people have agendas that can be very destructive to those who are innocent, but they're not naive, and that's the kind of mastery. They have innocence, but they're not naive. They have such a strong protection around them that they can witness and they can kind of tap into very destructive energies and still maintain this innocence. They're very much protected, these beings, and they're very protective over the innocence, purity, and they work a lot with the Holy Spirit. So when I think of Jesus Christ and Christ consciousness, I'm thinking of the Andromedans. The Andromedans are definitely, their teachings are similar to what we think of Jesus Christ and the Christ consciousness. When it comes to love, when it comes to having faith in love, when it comes to joy, when it comes to freedom and your soul, being connected to your soul, being connected to God. And to them, God is, since they are very much intergalactic, is the universe and all of creation, all the different types of interdimensional beings. So Christ consciousness is very much what the Andromedans' teachings are, which has a lot to do with prayer. Many, the Holy Spirit can connect to us through the prayer. So they're very much about, through harmony with the feminine and the masculine, harmony with our higher mind, and harmony with our inner child, we are able to embody our soul. So they really are, they're teachers of how to embody our soul in any planetary system. How to embody the soul, what is the soul, how to become more soulful, right? Love, unconditional love. So their teaching seems very simple, right? Unconditional love for yourself and for other beings. But they know in our more dense physical journey that it can be a challenge, and it can require much strength, much determination, and much devotion to really, really tap into that ascended master frequency where we are very united with the universe in a way that has transcended duality and the constant battles and wars that duality presents. So the Andromedans, they are everywhere. Like I said, they're light beings. There isn't exactly a location, but they're more so light energy that travels throughout the universe. So again, even for my mind, it seems very expansive, and it seems very infinite in the way that they are everywhere kind of thing. I'm hearing the word Brahman type of, they're the spirit within everything. But they do, like the Ascended Masters and even like the Archangels, which is kind of what they show themselves to me as in I guess my more third dimensional understanding, my third dimensional, fifth dimensional mind, is that they they can come as a being, they can show themselves as like Archangel Zachiel, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Ariel, but all of these beings just have a mastery over the Merkaba. Just they work with different teachings of the Christ consciousness. So Archangel Michael works with protection, right? Protecting you from dark energies, from negative attacks, negative attachments, from your own sort of, self-destruction. And that's his kind of, you could say, his subject of interest that he's studied, right? While we can say Archangel Chamuel can be about soul connections, soulmates. It can be about healing the family, romantic, platonic, love in general when it comes to more personal connections, right? So, these Andromedans, they come together in council, but they all have their own unique subjects of interest that they've studied, right? It could be love, it could be safety, it could be the sort of knowledge of the more practical mechanics of the universe. It can be nature, right? The wisdom of nature. So they all come together in this great council, and I feel that the Andromedans oversee the Intergalactic Confederation, which is the Andromedans are seen as the wisest, right? They're kind of seen as the wise men, I like to say. The wise men, the wisest among the intergalactic community, in the way that they come as a sort of light being, sort of light energy, and they present themselves as just unconditional love, pure and innocent, and very much they're healers. Like light being light workers, they are healers. And because they have evolved beyond duality, polarity, they've evolved beyond the physical form, and they've had many incarnations. They've very, very deep experience with the universe, that they have sort of graduated into this position where they have an understanding of many different sort of intergalactic regions in this universe. So they work with cosmic energy, pure cosmic energy, and they're very mysterious, right? But when we pray, they very much sort of awaken within us, because they're very much, we uncover them within our innocence and within our prayer, within our peace of mind. They represent the higher mind of all creation, okay? The Syrian, the Pleiadian, the Arcturian, they represent the higher mind, a oneness consciousness that doesn't even have a form, that doesn't even have a physical body, but can materialize into one to have to show itself in a way that a denser being like for us can understand. Okay, because we can't really tap into their light being energy. We need them to like present themselves as like Archangel Michael for us to really kind of connect, right? Because we're more in this denser, physical, third-dimensional, fifth-dimensional kind of understanding of energy. But they're one stream of consciousness, but they have many sort of I guess components to that, many kind of sort of expressions going on within that sort of oneness consciousness, or that same single stream of energy. When I connect with them, I see them like a nebula. Like I see them just this beautiful, bright energy, very colorful. I see them working with the pure white energy. I see them working with the violet energy with Saint Germain. I see them working with the magenta, light magenta, like very light, maybe lavender, light purple, and soft pink. Gentle blue. So they work a lot with these lighter colors, lighter frequencies that we can tap into when we go into deep meditation. Like when we do like deep meditation, deep prayer, listen to very healing music, we can feel that higher frequency moving through us, and we can tap into the light workers among us. And the light workers are very much beings who, again, who have evolved beyond who evolved beyond duality, polarity, who evolved beyond fear, who have really taken a lot of life lessons and have sort of learned a lot. Because these Andromedan beings, they are well learned. They're very well learned beings in the way that they have been challenged by the universe, and they've also been very, they've built a strong sort of protection around them, a strong sense of innocence, right? They have really are the soul energy. They have such a strong soul energy to the point where all you see is their soul. You don't even really, they have no flesh. They have no like physical appearance. They're just purely their soul energy, because they're that radiant, because they have had such, you can say their whole mission, or their whole, you could say, intention that brought them to this place in their evolution is about becoming the soul embodiment. So they teach us about how to be the soul embodiment and how to overcome the obstacles and challenges that don't want us to be our soul, that don't, that want us to be our flesh, that want us to be, just our ego. So they've given us like prayers. I just keep seeing prayers and prayers that they answer, and that they also share with us prayers and how we can become more of the embodiment of our soul, because they really are very strong. They have, even though there's such innocence, there's such a purity around them, they have such, again, protection, and their Merkaba is very defined because of their soulful energy. They really have tapped into their essence. And they've been challenged, they've been tested, just like all the masters and the masters, archangels, they have been tested. They have been challenged, even, broken down in many ways, so that they can, really, really build themselves back up from the soul level. So their experiences with the universe have been all about the sort of tapping into the soul and the power of the soul. So Christ consciousness has everything to do with the one soul. And regardless of what flesh you have, what body, what dimension, what planetary system you're in, your soul is your innocence, it's your purity, it's your connection to everything. And it's also your unconditional love, right? So they have a high mastery, one of the highest in the way, unconditional love, right? Having unconditional love for the person who did this to you, who did that, who destroyed you, who turns you against yourself, unconditional love for yourself, or your karma, and the mistakes that you've made, right? And what is it to have unconditional love? And how can we practice that? What is the teaching of that? So they work a lot with like acceptance, and we can, we see that as a forgiveness, but acceptance is about the acceptance so that there can be growth, so that you can learn your lesson. They're really about acceptance so you can learn your lesson, so that you don't keep yourself trapped. Because a lot of beings, when they're, they go through these, afterlife, when they die, as human beings, they have a life review. Beings sometimes can't let go of their mistakes. They can't let go of whatever resentment or anger or fear that they have. And it creates a sort of, it creates a sort of, it stuns their growth. It really entraps their soul from really moving forward and learning lessons and continuing onward. So again, a lot of these beings, these Andromedans, they work a lot with helping souls to transition So, they know souls, when we're in the physical earth, we will go through challenges, obstacles, difficulties, and, we can get very trapped in these places, like in a locked room where we kind of imprison ourselves, or, we can't move on, we can't let go, we can't accept what's been done, and then we create the karma of like multiple lives, infinite lives, repeating these similar things. So they help us to really accept and to move forward, right? They gave us the teaching of unconditional love, so that we can really free ourselves from the karmas, from the attachments, from these sort of these stun, where we stun our growth, where we kind of these soul fragmented. They very much work a lot with the soul retrieval. So when you work with the Christ consciousness, there's a lot of soul retrieval in the way that you feel that your soul is fragmented, or you feel soulless, you feel disconnected from your soul, you feel that your innocence has been stolen from you, your purity has been taken, your inner child has been ruined. Whatever that is, these beings work a lot with the soul retrieval. And the soul to them is seen as a child. Right? We think the child of God. They work a lot with you are the child of God, which is about you are innocent, you are pure no matter what. The world, your challenges, your obstacles, your life lessons can appear to steal your soul, ruin your soul, damage your soul, your jaded soul, your lost soul, your fragmented soul. But when you begin to unify with prayer, and you begin to work with the Andromedans through the kind of the figures, right, that they kind of represent, such as Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, except the Andromedans represent the intergalactic form. So Archangel Michael is seen as the earth form, but intergalactic form is seen as a light being, which can take many forms, okay? But for humans, because we have earth, right, our earth perception, it's seen as like Archangel Michael, but really it's just a light being. So they work a lot with their Christ consciousness, with the soul retrieval, soul repair, soul healing. They really work with healing at the soul level, okay, which has to do with past lives, has to do with the difficult challenges that we've had to face on our evolution, because they know evolution can be very tough. It can be very vigorous, very demanding. It can challenge you to your very core and test you in such difficult ways, right? So they really, really help us at the soul level to recognize that no matter what, we are the child of God, we are innocent, we are pure. And if we've gone through like a lot of trauma with our childhood, our inner child is broken, or if we think it is, these beings work a lot with that healing of the child in us all, because they're like the child at heart, but they're very, very protected, very strong, because they have such a powerful faith. They have such a powerful faith in their ability to create miracles. So they really, in the Intergalactic Confederation, they have such a miraculous mind, in the way that they believe so much in serendipity, synchronicity, a right divine timing, right place, right time. They really, really believe in the greater good of all, and that, there's going to be always a balance of the scales. There's always going to be harmony, because the universe demands it, right? And through the kind of crises, or through the turmoil, through the death, there is always a rebirth. There's always a sort of reinvention that happens. So they're kind of offering in the as the council, the higher council, within the Intergalactic Confederation, has a lot to do with the prayer. They do a lot of the prayer, and they emphasize prayer when they connect with humanity, prayer. and they work a lot with holding a vision. They do a lot of what they call vision work, where they believe that if you can vision whatever it is, but it has to come from a place of your soul. Okay, the vision can't be your ego, it can't be fleshy, okay, it can't be fake, it can't be, something that is going that's disconnected from your innocence, your true creative reasoning. When you come from that soul place, your vision that you intend or you project out is how you're able to manifest. So they work a lot with holding a vision of Earth in the fifth dimension. They really hold that vision very firmly. They stabilize that timeline for humanity's transition into that fifth dimension. They know that we're going through death, a major death. They know it's very painful, it's very challenging, very difficult. A lot of people are self-destruction, and people just can't handle it. They feel very, confused. So they really, really hold the vision of the soul in us, the soul in us awakening, and the soul in us really helping us to connect to the light work that's wanting to happen on this planet as a way to sort of retrieve the soulfulness of this world, the soulfulness of the individual, so that we can start to really move into a future timeline, or a higher vibrational reality that gives us the opportunity to learn our lessons. In lower vibrational timelines, we never learn our lessons. It's just like an endless eternal cycle of the same type of mistakes, and bankrupt, and emotionally, psychologically bankrupt, and not feeling good, and you feeling just the sort of evolution of your soul. It can't really free itself. It can't really move forward or move on, right? So they really want to help us to move forward with our soul's journey on this planet Earth. And to clear away these kind of attachments and these negative cycles that keeps us kind of in this I'm not worthy, or in this kind of lost soul, to really help us understand that we are not a lost soul. We just have to do some light work within us, and we all have the light work within us. So Andromedans, they work with like Reiki healing. I'm seeing Tai Chi, light energy. They work again with prayer. They work a lot with, prayer to even Jesus Christ, or prayer to, I'm seeing like candle prayer. And they work a lot with like vision, simple, like a vision that you're holding for your future. But also the connecting to your soul. And you'll know when you're connecting to your soul, because you're going to start to feel your innocence. You're going to feel playful, childlike. You're going to feel unconditional love in the way that you start to relax. You start to feel more natural. You start to feel more peaceful. You feel more grateful, right, for your life. You're more appreciative for what you have. That's your soul energy, your innocence, your inner child. So the Andromedan beings, they, in their intergalactic form, right, they have a sort of earth vibration, right, which is to us is like earth angels, right? But in their intergalactic form, they, again, light beings, but they can kind of come into a ninth dimensional expression. And that ninth dimensional expression is really seen as I'm seeing guardians. I'm seeing the owl. So the owl is representing the kind of guardian, right? They're very private. They are very much to themselves, like the owl, but they are seen as the guardian. Okay, the guardians. They're seen as the guardians and protectors of the universe, of innocence, and of the soul. And when you pray, they will give you that they will guard you. Okay, so they're seen as guardians, and in their sort of intergalactic confederation, their kind of work that they do has a lot to do with the light work which has to do with the healers and the healing that must happen, because they understand that we cannot really move forward until we do some healing, that we cannot really learn our lessons or transform unless we do our healing. So they work a lot with like helping us to do some, healing, and they really are connected to our soul so much so that they can kind of reveal to us in our Sachic record, in our even like a self-hypnosis, the soul work that needs to be done. That could be past life, it could be other planetary system, it could be soul connection. There's a soul work. So they work a lot with the soul work for humanity and for the individual, and they can really reveal to each being that, has an intention or a prayer to connect more with their soul. They can help them to connect with their Sachic record and connect to their soul work and what is their soul work in this lifetime. Because everyone's soul work will be different. And the soul work is not just one thing, it could be different things, okay, that's going to really, really help them to embody their soul. Such as soul work can be really accepting yourself, right? Like for me, my soul work is really accepting my divinity and expressing it without fear or embarrassment or thinking I'm not going to fit in, okay? Soul work for someone else can be different. Soul work can be about embracing spirituality, okay, embracing self-love. Soul work has a lot to do with you really shedding those layers of facades and fakeness and lies, and you told yourself that you're broken, you're stupid, you're fragmented, your soul is stolen from you. Through the challenges, to really, really shed those challenges to get to the root of who you are, which is the soul energy, which is, I am this infinite light that can heal anything and everything, just like this planet Earth. This planet Earth can renew itself, right? All planets can heal. Even in the greatest catastrophe, there can be healing. So they really teach us about the going to the soul work, and really that's what's going to give us the breakthrough. That's what's going to help us to learn our life lessons so that we can evolve and move forward. We cannot move forward until we do our soul work. We can't, a spiritual bypass. It has to be authentic. It has to be real. And it has to be a sort of return to our innocence, return to our vision, return to our dreams, our creativity, return to our purity. And regardless if we think I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I am a sinner, I am going to hell, all of that has to be healed for you to get to the soul work, so that you can embody your soul, so that you can really, really step into your personal evolution and really step into, get out of the reincarnation cycles, attachments, and really get into what your mission is on this earth, what you really want to do on this earth. Okay, and doing is not necessarily, it can be in being. It's a being that you want to do or have on this earth. It's a being that you want to experience on this earth, and that being can be is very soulful, and all beings really want to come into the fullness of their unconditional love. It's just there's so much light work that must be done. And because Earth, there are all kinds of challenges, obstacles, that's why they have such, in the Intergalactic Confederation, they present themselves as guardians, because they know that we need to be guarded, and the innocence must be guarded, right? Protected. And that they really do help us work on our Merkaba, and they even engineered the Merkaba. They kind of even designed the Merkaba for more physical, lower dimensional, beings, is to give us a protection, to give us, as we're our soul, a sort of vessel, right? A sort of shell, so that we can go through, all the different planetary systems and still be unbroken. You know what I'm saying? Unbroken and intact. And that's the kind of who they are. They represent this unbroken soul, this unbroken intuition. And that kind of Christ consciousness or Christ path is very, very liberating, but it's very, very a high master path in many ways, because it requires a complete faith in the soul. And when you're dealing with all the ridicule and the belittlement and all the trauma and all of even jealousy, or dealings with people out to get you, or whatever it is, the faith in the soul is one that will grant you this kind of miracle within your vision, because it gives you this sort of resilience, this strength, this invincibility, this real sense of, I am who I am my soul, and I choose love. So it's kind of that love or fear. Okay, that's the greatest challenge, not just on earth, but other places as well. Love or fear, love or fear, love or fear. And these Andromedans, they know that. There's love, there's fear, and we're constantly being challenged by it, a part of our evolution, a part of our sort of development as a soulful being, as an embodied energy that is unique to who we are and where we originate from, in the star, right? We are the angels in the sky. We are the stars. They see us as the angels, angelic beings that, through the faith and love, and through overcoming fear and retrieving our soul, healing our soul, doing the soul work, we have been able to really, really come into a very wise place where we can really step into, like I'm seeing the elves, right? The elves that have a great blessing and offering that they share through their soul connection that they have with you, and the soul connection that they have with themselves. And that creates such a transformative and such a healing movement forward for the beings. So what is soulful and what is our soul work and soul embodiment has a lot to do with our offering, has to do with our blessing. The blessing that we are, and the offering that we share. And how can we get more in touch with that inner child vision for our life? Get more in touch with what is our soul's medicine? What is our soul's work? What is our soul's blessing and our soul's offering? And how can we really, really go deeper into that root of ourselves and come into the fierceness of our soul embrace? So that's what the Andromedans do work on, and what their sort of guidance and offering for humanity, with their light being sort of language, their light being sort of activations, their light codes, and their sort of ascended masters, archangels, and earth angel, Christ consciousness type of Holy Spirit alchemical broadcast. When we connect with that Christ consciousness, we're connecting with the innocence, our purity, our vision, our soul's work, our soul's embodiment, and we're really coming into a place where we're looking at love and we're looking at fear, getting back to the basics, love or fear. Fear can web into all kinds of, anger, addiction, hatred, resentment, but it's fear. So it's really basics, the love and the fear, and the prayer for the love, and the prayer for the ability to repair our connection to God, which is the universe, to have faith in the universe again. And how we do that is clearing our karma. It's about stepping out of the familiarity, the attachments, the kind of aimlessly reincarnating with the same people, and really, really taking a chance on our soul, stepping into what inspires us. Your soul wants to be inspired. Your soul wants to be creative. Your soul wants to be awakened in a way where your soul is, you can accept yourself. You can feel healthy and good and peaceful, and you're surrounded with individuals that really support your emotional and spiritual growth. And you feel united with the universe in the way that you can actually manifest directly from your soul. A manifestation that is going to bring you really their kind of mission, very simple, very basic, a manifestation of your spiritual and your emotional sense of ease and sense of completion and accomplishment. Okay, because when we die and we transition, that's really all that we are, right? Our light being self is basically just the emotional and spiritual kind of the movement we've had and the ease that we have. And the more ease that we have emotionally, spiritually, it's going to reveal to us as a sense of freedom we have, a sense of faith, a sense of love, a sense of childlike wonder and innocence that we've restored. So the more that we work on that spiritual and emotional kind of sense of ease, the more innocent we'll become, but not innocent in a naive way, like a child who needs its mother for, protection and knowledge, but an innocence that can see into the fear, can look at the fear, even sense the fear, and has an ability, sort of a Merkaba ability to do the soul work, to find a miracle, to create a miracle, or to create one's own breakthrough. Whenever there's the soul work, there's always a breakthrough to be had. There's always a next level, an evolution, a blessing that will be given. An offering that we share is the blessing that we receive. And when we offer our soul to prayer, or really connect with our innocence in a way where it's like very fierce, very intentional, very sincere, we are definitely the blessings that we receive and the blessings that we kind of create within us is going to match that kind of soulful resurrection that we have, and that blessing that we become is a complete inspiration. It's like a complete inspiration. It's a complete yet simple, basic view of the universe in a way that is of ease, in a way that is of a universe being aligned with a divine orchestration, a divine intervention, and a divine eternity.